What up, y'all? We're back at it at our 2023 predictions. We are taking a look ahead at the month of October. So if you haven't already by now, it's the 10th month of the year, so you've really been missing out. But I have a whole playlist of 2023 predictions videos. We go month by month. I'm releasing these early in the year so that if you catch them early, you can get a look ahead and sort of get an idea, like an outline for the story of what your year might be looking like, what kind of themes you'll be working with as far as your spiritual growth and things of that nature. So it kind of helps you have a goal and helps you kind of stay on track through the year. When we write narrative, we need to know where our story is going before we set out so that we're not just writing ourselves in circles. That's why we find ourselves living in circles, going around in circles and cycles and repeated patterns over and over again, because we don't know where it is that we want to be going. We don't understand the assignment. Usually is what keeps us going in circles, is we just don't understand the assignment. So the 2023 predictions videos are sort of like, I've gotten orders from headquarters for our assignment, right? And this is what they've been giving me from the main office. Okay, so our archetypal influence and energy that is going to be affecting the month of October is the mask. And so the mask is interesting because there's two sides of the mask. On one hand, the mask can be a positive way to put on identities and alter our egos that allow us to lose ourselves in self-discovery, to tap in to our deepest and truest self, sort of unencumbered by our inhibitions, right? A good example of this is Beyonce. She created a character in her mind very early on in her days of learning to be a performer called Sasha Fierce, because Beyonce Knowles is actually a very humble and gentle and shy person. And so for her, in order to be able to command and own the stage and be the Beyonce that has inspired the Beehive, the goddess amongst women level, like, you know, it's like, I feel like Lady Gaga, Beyonce, like they're up in this realm of people like Cher. These people are demi-goddesses, you know, in a way. I feel like in an energetic sense that they're larger than life, and they've taken on this like yoke of being like a mystical figure of sort of like power and expression of feminine force. And so back to the mask, in a positive way, we can put on masks. Like think of, you know, Venetian masquerade balls, right? Right now is February, so Mardi Gras is coming up. So Carnival is going on, and people would put on masks and they would intermingle, and they would be having experiences and exchanges with people that they wouldn't normally have, and do things maybe and have experiences that they wouldn't normally have because they've been able to let go of the identity that has defined them up until now, right? Even just for a moment. And in the fact that it might be just for a moment, that it's temporary, is what allows the person to sort of allow themselves the freedom and the liberation within those boundaries. And so that's a positive way. Actors, right? When they're taking on a role, they really go deep into the character to have empathy and understanding. And so masking, you know, it becomes a tool where we can take on, you know, the character, like go deep into the characters of the people around us so that we can more deeply understand them, like putting ourselves in their shoes. So yes, the mask can be sort of characters that you play in your life in order to more fully like express who you are from an uninhibited sense. And so in a negative way, masks can present by putting on bravado that's not really you, because you think that it's going to give you admiration from others. You think that it's going to make you elevated or more special or make you lovable or make you desirable in some way. Like if you try to behave in a certain way because you think that's what's expected of you, or if you think that, you know, you're acting a certain way to get the attraction of someone because you think that's what they want, but that's not really true to you. Or pretending to be someone that you're not in order to get someone to like you, but it's a false mask. Or hiding what you really think and feel in order to appease, in order to go along to get along, right? So masks can liberate or they can really hinder, and they can, you know, tread in the territory of deceitfulness and falsehood, right? So sometimes they can, you know, enhance, and sometimes they can contract and hold back. So let's look at the mask as far as a tool goes. This is an archetypal tool. I'm using the books in these readings because these particular decks I kind of always use for my annual month-by-month look for the year, but I don't necessarily use these decks like often enough to like know them really through and through, so I don't want to miss things. And also I've found over the years that when I do these yearly readings for me, that the books in and of themselves have some very poignant key markers that get highlighted that are like continuing themes that that make themselves known, in addition to like the channeled like insights coming through. Okay, so the mask, the persona, their performance, the reveal. We often think of a mask as something that conceals our identity, yet contemplate the possibility that the mask permits our true identity to be revealed. It allows. The mask gives voice to that which was previously rejected. When this card appears, enact the side of you that is seeking expression, yet was never given a role to play on the stage of your life. You are in the realm of theater, so anything is possible. Speak with the other's voice. Embody the other's limbs. You are taking part in the ritual of expanding the self. There may be mischief and deception around, and others may be trying on new masks too. No one is sure who is who. It's likely you've become so attached to a single mask that you need to fall face forward into this perception bending time. Trust it. When light reveals what has been suppressed, when dark further conceals what is rejected. Go deeper. The Masks of James Ensor. Joan Jonas, Jimmy Durham. So there may be mischief and deception around, and others may be trying on new masks too. No one is sure who is who. It's likely you've become so attached to a single mask that you need to fall face forward into this perception bending time. Trust it. So last month, and then months leading up to this, I feel like there's been a theme this year of being able to know who you are truly and deeply at your core, so that you're safe enough to allow others in to become close to you. But within allowing those others in to become close to you, it's like you're constantly challenged this year to maintain your own identity and your own sense of self and frame and boundary and separation from the other, without becoming enmeshed or absorbed or lost or codependent. And so it's been a constant like training ground this year, right? And so the challenge in doing that is that what the gift is in relationship is to also evolve and grow you beyond what you already are, because of the fact that the other person is different, as well as nurturing, right? It's a combination of factors, but it's not just the things that are alike about your partner that help you grow, or the people that you date. Sometimes it's what's different. And so just being able to get insight into another person's perspective can help heal you, can help give you more understanding, can help you gain wisdom, and it can help mold you and transform you and shape you, but it doesn't have to change you into something you aren't. And so I think that's what we're learning to balance this year, is letting ourselves be evolved and grown, but not give up what we love, not change who we truly are to please someone else. You know, it's like, understand the difference between growth and people pleasing is the big thing. And so people pleasing wears masks. People pleasing says, yeah, it's fine, I'm fine. You know, it's fine. No, that's cool. No, you know, no, I'll get it. Or I'll do it. Or it's fine. You know, no, it's fine. I like washing all the dishes all the time. You know, I like doing the laundry. It's just, I'll do it the way I want. And, you know, it's like, you know, people pleasing. It's mask wearing. It builds up tension because you're not honest. You're not authentic. You're not saying what needs to be said for there to be a fair chance at what could be good, right? So know when it's healthy not to mask, right? Don't hide your needs. Don't hide who you are. Don't hide yourself away or dim yourself, right? Don't let that be the mask that you're wearing. But let the mask be kind of more like the idea, like, well, try this on for size, you know, just to take a walk for a mile in this person's shoes. It's not permanently changed to this person's feet. It's just take a walk a mile, you know, try it out. So expose yourself to people who might challenge you or who might be outside of the realm of what you're used to in your echo chamber. And then your authenticity, not your masking, is going to be what's powerful there. Positive masking versus shadow masking. Okay, what feminine goddess archetype should we work with this month to assist us? What kind of energy and wisdom should we take on from the feminine goddess archetypes? Who are we embodying? Who is our helper and our guide this month? Freya, radical acceptance. I love this because it's easier to take off the mask when you're in the presence of radical acceptance. And it's something that's like, it's a give and take. You're either in the vibration of it or not. So when you start judging, you will be judged. Judge not, lest you be judged, right? When you radically accept, it starts melting the barriers. And it takes time, right? But if you stick to it, eventually your radical acceptance and unconditionalness to just keep accepting life as it presents, doing what you can, controlling what you can control, which is your mindset, which is how you feel, which is the choices that you make to get up in the morning, get out of bed, and put hands in motion, right? That's what you have control over. So radically accepting life as it presents truthfully allows others to take off their mask, but also helps them feel liberated to try on ones that they were maybe scared to because they were afraid that they wouldn't be accepted, right? That's very interesting. Let's read Freya, card 15. And again, this whole year we've been being pushed to value our uniqueness no matter what kind of heat and haters we come up against, because it's our uniqueness that is our gift to the world. It's going to be the thing that makes the difference. And so we have to protect that. And so we can't be teamed up that closely with another person's energy to be infused with another soul, like a partner, a romantic partner, until we are strong enough to value our uniqueness and the purpose that it serves on earth, and the fact that we have to like keep that sacred and cherish it and keep it pure and not let someone else wear us down or change it over time. Empowerment message. When you see life as a battleground, you lose sight of a more easeful way to be in the world. Can you stand in the middle of the chaos and allow yourself to center in the quiet hum in the eye of the storm? Let the peace of Freya, the Norse goddess of war, enter your mind. Amid the flurry of battle, she came to collect the fallen and bring them to a place of rest and recuperation. Freya is here to remind you that the acceptance of defeat is not the end. She offers the gift of acceptance, that knowing that there is nothing to resist right now. See your world at face value and look into it with discernment. When you see with greater clarity, not taking this world so personally, you will not have to fight at all. If you take full stock of your conditions, surrendering to what is, you can move to a higher ground, begin again, or wait until the drama dies down on its own. You are the strongest, most grounded, and most powerful when you remember this is the strategy of the goddess Freya offers you in support. So 2 months in a row now, in September and October, the cards were like, whatever's happening right now, it is what it is. It is what it seems. So you don't have to obsess over what's really going on, because what seems like is going on is going on. So trust your instincts about that. So that's one thing that can alleviate a lot of time suck, suffering, and energy, is just not obsessing over the reading between the lines, because there's no need. Okay, now let's see who is going to be our animal helper. Who is our wild unknown animal spirit helper? Ooh, vulture. Ooh, Death Eater. Interesting. So cleaning up the remains of what is dead and rotting away, and bringing it through the process of purification. So whatever no longer serves, right? And this is, we're getting closer to Scorpio time in October, at the end of the month. And so we're getting ready and letting die away what needs to die away so that it can be transformed. And the vulture is going to come and take all of that garbage and get rid of it. Let us talk to vulture. Let us see what vulture has to say. This is an air element animal. Guardian and purifier. Guardian and purifier, essential for rebalance. The vulture is perhaps the most misunderstood creature of all. This intriguing bird balances our ecosystem and prevents the spread of disease. It does the dirty work that no one else wants to do and cleans up our messes. The vulture appears when there's a situation that needs to be purified or brought back into balance. Remember, the vulture is greatly undervalued. What you thought was a mistake or a tragedy is a blessing in disguise. Immediately, my mind goes to the message, it is what it is, radical acceptance, it is what it seems to be, take it at face value. This is a blessing in disguise. No matter what is happening, it is playing out for the highest good. When in balance, clarifies, reveals wisdom. When out of balance, dramatic, aggressive. To bring into balance, clean your space, sage. Ooh, did we read the little side notes for the mask? Let's make sure that we did, because those are always really helpful. Okay. As the Zen koan suggests, meditate on your original face. The one you had before your mother and father were born. Oh, I love that. I forgot. I love that. I'm so glad I came back in to read it. As the Zen koan suggests, meditate on your original face. The one you had before your mother and father were born. So before you even came here, you were a soul with a face, with a purpose, with an identity. Your parents were already planned out for you. So before they were born, before the programming, before they were even before they were programmed even, before your family drama and all the sins of the generation and the patterns got mixed into your DNA, who were you? Your original face before the physical and the non-physical. Completely pure of any kind of programming. Think of a mask or costume you wore that felt empowering, marvelous, or fun. Who was it you were being? Is that who still within you? Interesting. All right, let's get some tarot cards for the month of October. What do we need to know? Ooh, Seven of Cups. So looking at this mask, maybe people are revealing their true colors over the month, right? And you know, what's being revealed might be unpleasant, but on the one hand, you're learning radical acceptance of the truth of what is, whether it's convenient or not. You're learning acceptance within acceptance. You're also learning to allow what needs to be purified so that what is valuable remains. But the Seven of Cups comes in because you're really like weighing your options, right? And you're looking at your dreams and you're like, okay, is this truly fitting into this story, right? Is this something that's going to continue to be one of my cups that I'm putting my focus on, or is it going to start moving out of my realm? Because we want to be, it's interesting that the mask and the Seven of Cups is next to one another, because the Seven of Cups talks about illusion and the mask can create illusion. And so I think that this is seeing beyond illusion and taking a realistic look at the truth of the situation and what's before us and what's really being offered. All right. What else do we need to know about? Oh my gosh. Okay, so a continuation of the ending of that difficult cycle. That lesson, I guess we're still sort of we still got the swords in the back, right? But everything is fine. It's still the good Ten of Swords. We got this last month in September. So I guess something is on the rocks in September and October. Or something is uncertain, or something is being shaken. And so everything is fine though. It's the end of the way things were. And it's a new opportunity for a fresh start. It's just that this has been painful and it's tiring, but it's the end. It can be the end of this painful cycle, right? And the beginning of something new. Judgment. Major Arcana. Seeing through, because this right here, everything is fine, Ten of Swords, even though it's the end of a big cycle, it's still like not that big of a deal compared to like a Major Arcana energy. It's just like a passing moment, right? This is like a passing fight or something, or a moment that like once it's gone, like, I mean, yeah, you will have learned from it, but it's not like those life-changing, like huge, like core-shaking moments, right? This is not a Tower card. This is just Ten of Swords. After a bunch of these, like the Towers, it's like this is no big deal anymore, right? It's also that everything is fine. So there's the Judgment card talks about death and rebirth. It talks about resurrection. It talks about seeing the light. It talks about the call to answer the divine guidance, right? And to use the judgment that you've been given up until now, and your insight and your foresight and the ability to see how the pieces fit together and see if you can actually follow that intuition and put it into play. This also talks about reconciliation. So whatever the mask and the back and forth has been, it's like radical acceptance and the ability to move forward and let the purification happen. It's like whether you reconcile or move forward, you're gonna go forward new, fresh, a new outlook with a different outlook, a different mentality. This is like the revelation that comes after the tribulation, right? It's like that moment where you have the big epiphany. And so it's like this ending of the cycle is leading through to a big breakthrough. And so it's opening you up for a very positive moment, a crossroads, if you will. See the cross there? So it's like you get a moment where you get to say like, okay, am I gonna go this way or that way? And so that's why you're kind of looking at your options this month. It's like, okay, realistically, let's take a look and see what are my choices here. Do I want any of these choices? But I'm at a crossroads, and now I have this like insight after having come through the cycle. What do I really want now? All right, one last tarot card for October. I think it's this one. Ooh, the Fool. Oh my God. Okay, favorite outfit. I say that about every card. Favorite outfit in the deck. The Fool is setting out for a new beginning, right? Unencumbered, not taking baggage with her. Look, she's got like a tiny little backpack on, a little knapsack, and she's got her like phone and her headphones and her little pet, and she's walking on the edge, and she's happy, and she is feeling free and light of foot, and trusts that the Creator is leading and guiding. And even though this person isn't a new baby, a child starting off for the first time, but it's a person who's already been back and forth and left the village again and again and come back. And so this is a new start, a new journey, right? Right on the heels of Yom Kippur, where we really set our new soul and ground it in, and we're launched out into that new year, right? Fresh foot forward. So keep that foot fresh, honey. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, don't step in your own fucking dog shit right off the bat. Keep your fucking soul fresh and clean and unmarred, right? Keep your positive energy. Keep your loving outlook. Hold to the goals that you wanted for yourself this year. Peace and release. Clarifying card number 1. Surrender. Let it go. Radical acceptance. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. What the fuck? 2 cards that say radical acceptance. Radical acceptance. Untangle. Allow. Let go of control. Certainty in the light. Embrace the unknown. Move forward from here. Don't get stuck in the past. Okay. So yeah, 7 of Cups and then the peace and the release. It's like, don't get stuck in thinking about the past, or don't get drunk on the potential. Be realistic and grounded in the now. Do the best you can. Follow your guidance, and then peace, release. Let the chips fall where they may, and radically accept how things are going, because you're doing your best to embody the wisdom and follow your divine guidance and be authentic in the way you show up. And that's all you can do. And so whatever happens from there, you have to accept people's free will and let the chips fall where they may. This is from the ego. This pattern here, this is an ego pattern that you are being invited to break. And the weapon that you are using to break it is radical acceptance. That is your tool, right? Because we got radical acceptance, underneath it, everything is fine. So whatever you're going through right now, accept it. Accept that this situation is playing out in order to break something open in you so that it can be released and purified and removed, so that you can go forward into your dream life. And this is something that has been plaguing you from your ego for a very long time. I'm gonna read this whole card. The ego is up to its usual tricks. How are you being triggered by fear, lack, or doubt? How are you being tempted with greed, lust, or power? Is this about status, validation, or approval? Is this coming from a sense of despair or dependency? The ego is both very sneaky and also the pushiest voice in your head. It can just as easily manifest in shyness, smallness, and low self-confidence as it can in grandiosity and arrogance. It can trigger feelings of defenselessness, fear, insecurity, greed, competitiveness, and comparison, as well as sadness, passivity, avoidance, and control. The ego seeks to manipulate, barter, negotiate, justify. It's evasive, and it's always avoiding the ultimate truth and unconditional love. It seeks to corrupt these virtues and confuse them. The ego loves to confuse and overcomplicate. Remember the stop obsessing from last month? Go back and watch it. The voice of the higher self is quiet, gentle, calm, wise, eternal. It is the voice of love with strength and boundaries. To observe the ego, think of emotional triggers as traps. The ego will always bite on a trigger. Think of the ego. Okay, observe the ego. Think of emotional triggers as traps. The ego will always bite on a trigger, like bait, right? Take it like bait. Before you react, pause and observe observe and learn from your reflexive impulse, and instead choose consciously. So observe and learn from your reflexive impulse, and instead choose consciously. So instead of impulsively responding, pause and observe what you want to do in that situation, what your ego is like pushing you to do the most pushy, to make sure that you feel like this is going to be something that will allow instant gratification and make something more comfortable or fix the situation, instead of allowing the discomfort to reveal, right? So the ego is going to want to put an end to the discomfort immediately. It's going to want to shut it down. Because there's going to be a truth revealed if we sit in that discomfort. So pay attention to what your trigger response wants to do, but don't do anything. Pause and observe it and learn, what is that? And then follow it back to see, okay, well, why is that my impulse reaction here? What's really underneath that? Okay, onward and upward. Let's see, what else do we need to know from the straightforward oracle? Okay, that is not, okay, so boredom is causing stagnation. So vulture gets rid of that rotten stagnation in nature. Boredom right now, we're starting to be illuminated and enlightened to the things that have been causing stagnant energy in our lives. And then we're doing something about it. I say that like having at least one form of cardio or physical activity in your life is very helpful to keep your energy from becoming stagnant. And if you have different abilities and you can't get out and move in the same way, then there might be something that you can do physically from your from in your own way that will get your energy flowing. Even if that is blinking in a way that is according to a pace or a pattern, right? You know, whatever you can do to move yourself physically and to burn physical energy, it helps to keep you from stagnating and becoming lethargic. That is just from a physical perspective, but boredom, complacency, latent, blasé, feeling void. Your desire and passion is the gasoline for your manifestation. Boredom and rut energy are causing stagnation. It's beginning to bleed through every area of your life. It's time to shake things up and reignite your desire and lust for life. Seduce yourself with sensual pleasures like delicious foods, exotic scents, and exciting adventures. Spend some time doing things that spark your sense of fun and curiosity. Play with life and embrace pleasure. Soon you will find yourself motivated and renewed. And if what's the problem is that you've been embracing too much pleasure, then maybe you need to put your hand to service towards others, right? Maybe it's that you've become bored with satiating your wants and your own sense of like entertainment, and maybe the balance for you is to like give yourself a sense of purpose, right? And like do something that involves contributing to your community or others, right? For other people, it might be like more like doing something that brightens them up and like fills them up because they haven't been doing enough for themselves, right? So it depends on, you know, where you've already been. It might be like shifting your energy. And then the Fool, this new start, this is an issue of self-love. So as you go forward, love yourself first and others will follow. You can only love others as well as you are able to love yourself. You've been putting others first at the expense of your own authenticity. Okay, so this stagnant energy may have less, like some people may need to like put their energy towards others, but most of us, the case is here, it's like you've been giving and giving and over giving to others for too long, and you don't feel a sense of passion in your giving and sharing anymore because you're like, well, what's the point? I don't get to like receive anything, any kind of pleasure from it. It's not, I'm not nurtured in any way. I'm just giving and giving and giving till depletion. And it's like, you need to keep your love tank full. That was one of some of our advice from last month. It was like, keep your love tank full so you're not needy, so you're not reaching, right? So back to the self-love, and it's probably coming up against this issue that's coming to a head, and it's still kind of going on, right? From the issue, from the ego, right? It's like you need to radically accept and you need to radically love yourself. You've been putting others first at the expense of your own authenticity. It's time to realign with your higher self and make choices that are true to you. And so that's back to that reoccurring lesson through the year, which is to stay true to yourself, to learn who you are, to let that become established, like a concrete statue that's like setting, before we start allowing others into our life that are going to have an undue influence on our focus, on our energy, on our goals, right? We need to make sure that we can stay true to ourselves and not abandon ourselves, because we are empathic and we easily become enmeshed, right? We're learning how to have better boundaries and a better sense of self. And we're learning how to prioritize ourselves, right? And in order to not lose ourselves, sometimes we don't know what that looks like on a day-to-day. And sometimes it's just saying, no, I'm not coming over to your house. I have like things that I want to do here at my house, right? I'm going to stay in and I'm going to focus on like some self-care and self-growth and personal reflection. And I'm going to do my spiritual practice and I'm going to catch up on some things. I'm not going to come over tonight because you want me to hang out, right? In the beginning of relationships, it gets very hard to say no to a Netflix and chill because it sounds so cozy, so comfy. It's really hard not to sleep in and hang out at your lover's house, right? But you need to leave. You need to go back to your life and continue to do what you do, right? Because it's getting too lax and like abandoning your routines and your goals that puts you in that issue and that pattern over and over again of abandoning yourself, of over prioritizing other people. And then the attraction dies, right? Because they feel like it doesn't stoke desire, right? It doesn't give that push and pull, right? So it's not healthy. So prioritize and love yourself, because you're probably erring on the side of over giving and over investing in others who haven't been reciprocating in the same and equal way. And the more that you demand and command respect for yourself, and the more that you make your own self a priority too, the more attractive you are. You know, the firmer you are in setting your boundaries, if you can be fun and a little stern, you know, it's a sweet spot. Because you want, like, you know, when people are like firm with you about who they are and like their standards, it's kind of hot. You're like, all right, feisty. Okay, let's have our final word here from our Winged Enchantment. Oh, that was a lot. Owl. Owl. Hoot hoot. Okay, let's see. You know, Owl was on Athena's shoulder in our last month's reading. Our goddess oracle energy that we were working with was Athena, and she is her familiar, her companion, her helper is the owl, the wisdom, right? Okay. I am owl. This card is number 24, if that matters to you. I am owl. You might want to look up that meaning for an angel number meaning or whatever. I am owl. I am the silence of the night. I am the arrival of mysterious things. I am the revealer of hidden tracks beneath the snow and ghosts within the psyche. I am the unsettling of darkness. I am the goddess of death. At times you cannot see me, but I permeate all worlds. My hunting grounds are the soul. You are a skilled listener. You are a well-seasoned traveler of realities. I have been watching your movements and tracking your steps. You are beginning to see beyond the veil and crack the illusions of night, but you must be vigilant and watch your step in the blackness. Take the quiet road and guard your inner world with determined purpose. There is a vast trove of power that will guide you well as you soar into the cosmos. But before you boast of your new winged ally, realize that I am no bringer of easy roads. My path is lonely and requires retreat into the forests of the mind. This is where all awareness begins and where all experience comes home to fulfill its purpose. You are a sober night vision. You are a master of the shadows. You are at ease in solitude. You are owl. You are at ease in solitude. So if you aren't taking enough time for yourself, you need to be. And if you have just come through a breakup, everything is as it should be. So embrace the solitude. If it's meant to work out, it will. But it will work out because you let go and you put your focus on your own self and give space, right? All right, you guys. October should be interesting. I love owl and death is, like the whole Day of the Dead, the celebration, the veil is very thin in October. Lessons from the reality that we face death, transcending the illusion of death, connecting to our loved ones who have passed on because we do not fall under the illusion of death, that we know that they are alive and well, right? It's part of it. So death and rebirth, Death Eater and purification, Fool, new beginnings, dancing on the edge there. Chainsaw dancing on the edge of oblivion, y'all. But I'm feeling good. I think whatever's happening in October sounds challenging, but if we can accept it and go with it and just accept what's going on and not fight it, I think we'll be at peace and we'll get through it. All right? Y'all be good, but not too good. Ciao.